Grab your popcorn. The summer movie blockbuster edition of Sin City Beat is here. This time, we're equating Vegas sports figures to the silver screen. Don't go anywhere because Sin City Beat starts right now.
From Las Vegas, this is Sin City Beat.
Welcome to Sin City Beat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm Mike Davis. Summer is here, and so is film fever. That's why this time on Sin City Beat, we're connecting Vegas sports figures to the silver screen, and we have a great panel here to help us out. Joining the action today, we have Ray Brewer, managing editor of the Las Vegas Sun, Chris Chapman, but you know him as Magnum 702, reporter for Fox Sports Las Vegas and producer of the VGK Insider Show. And last but not least, a first-timer here on Sin City Beat. Give him a round of applause. The great Kip Kelly, Chief Experience Officer at the Beverly Theater. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. So now, Las Vegas and the silver screen, it goes hand in hand. Casino, Ocean's 11, Leaving Las Vegas, Vegas Vacation. How about The Hangover? There's so many great films that took place here in Las Vegas. But let's kick off today with this. I want to know what Vegas sports story should be turned into a movie. So Ray Brewer, what should screenwriters be getting ready to write first now?
There's two obvious answers. One I'm going to leave to Magnum over here.
Okay.
But for me, it's got to be the running Rebels of UNLV, right? Jerry Tarkanian comes to Vegas, you know, not even a known college, playing at the convention center, playing this fast-paced basketball up and down the court.
Yeah.
Before the three-point line, putting up 100 and some points every game, recruiting kids that nobody else wanted, like JC kids that were a little rough around the edges, the battles with the NCAA, 3 Final Fours in 5 years, the national championship, the parade on the Las Vegas Strip, and then Robert Maxson coming down and filming him and ultimately leading into his demise after 19 years.
I'm already seeing Soderbergh, Guy Ritchie. There's a lot of directors that could bring some vision to this. You got the flavor, the upbeat energy. I like that answer. And of course, who plays Tark? Do you have an answer for that?
Danny DeVito. Is that not great, right? Same height, same bald head.
Yeah.
I can see a nomination in his future. Kip, what do you think about it? You like the Danny DeVito thing?
I do like the Danny DeVito thing. I feel like that's a top-tier answer from a seasoned Las Vegan, so I appreciate that from Ray. I don't want to step all over Chris's thunder because I do feel like he's handing off the VGK story run to him a little bit.
But we'll see.
I am going to go VGK, but I'm going to go a little bit different. Not the title run, just that first year, and just getting what it meant, and maybe even perhaps as a blueprint for anybody who might be looking to bring a sports franchise to the city, how to do it. And it goes all the way back from when Bill Foley was just on the radio asking for season ticket deposits very nicely. Hi, I'm Bill. I'd like to introduce the NHL to Las Vegas. Right. Would anybody like to join me in this? No public cry for funding. We've got the thing built. It's okay. Just come along for this ride for me. And then that whole first year, obviously, and how they connected to the city of Las Vegas. They made a finals run, but I think cementing themselves as a beloved franchise. 1 year.
And 1 October.
1 October. That was right up against their home opener, and there was a lot of confusion, and they could have, not by any fault of their own, they could have really fumbled that opener. But I think they put so much effort and did so many good things in that single opener that really cemented themselves as like the franchise, the anchor franchise for Las Vegas in the desert where hockey goes to die, quote unquote, right? I think just that first year entirely, and then obviously they make the finals run and they win a couple years later, but
I would cut the movie after that very first game.
Right.
That was like the moment in Vegas sports history.
Are you behind this? Because you usually don't like inspirational movies.
Inspired.
You're like a My Weekend at Bernie's kind of guy.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to think.
Anytime I don't want to think. You sound like my dad. It's like, I don't want to be moved. I don't want to be inspired. I don't want to be.
Think about that first game. They gave such a great tribute to the 58 that were killed. You're literally crying.
Yeah.
And then within 5 minutes, they had 3 goals. The whole place is going crazy. Yeah. And next thing you know, Henderson Soccer Mom's got to be at the game putting her photos on Facebook.
These guys are already right. They're already writing the movie for the screenwriters. Magnum 702. You got to tell us. We got about a minute left here.
Yeah.
What's the movie that needs to be told?
Well, I got the best of both worlds because I'm around VGK every day, and I've been so for the last 8 years, but I'm a UNLV alum. I grew up in the Northeast. UNLV basketball in the late 80s, early 90s was appointment television. God bless my mother. She'd let me stay up late in New Jersey and watch UNLV destroy Long Beach State or Santa Barbara or whatever bum team that they played that night.
Irvine.
Yeah, they would just put the beating on them. And they were the bad guys. Like, people hated them. I got so much slack because I rooted for UNLV in '89 when they beat Seton Hall. I was living in New Jersey. I got beat up at school for rooting for UNLV.
Did you actually get beat up?
No, it
Okay.
adds to it.
Okay,
So.
Yeah, it's a better story.
I was going to
It's a better
say,
story.
you know, I know.
For the movie, he got beat
Yes,
up.
for the movie, Chris in New
But
Jersey
not too
getting
bad,
pummeled.
because we don't want Ray to feel anything coming out of this film. Okay, guys, listen, we got to go to the break. But next up on Sin City Beat, I'm asking the panel about a Vegas sports figure who could swiftly make that transition to the screen. Max Crosby, Asia Wilson, Josh Pastner. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching Sin City Beat.
Athletes turn to acting all the time. The great Jim Brown, Carl Weathers, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Terry Bradshaw, Shaq, MJ. We all remember Space Jam. LeBron did that too. But what about even Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems? That might be the best of recent memory. But don't get me started even on these wrestling guys, right? The Rock, Dave Bautista, John Cena. So the list is super long. But Kip Kelly, which Vegas sports figure do you think might have a second career after sports?
For me, this is easy. It's William Carlson.
Real? The
It
hair.
is. Well, his face has range. That's what I will say. Okay, I could see him playing Macaulay Culkin in the biopic of how Home Alone was shot as a 10-year-old boy. I can also see him as like this Nordic, like conqueror on the front of a ship, just coming in to take your village from you. I think he can also just be in anything Tom Cruise was ever in the history of his world. His range has face, which I think is the most important thing right now, and he put him in a rom-com, and it's gonna sell out.
You know what? Ladies will like it. He's got box office kind of
Big time.
appeal. I would say that. And just, I mean, listen, he needs the shot with the hair, the little.
The hair is the key. But if he didn't have the hair, the face has range,
Okay,
and that's all that matters.
That's important to know. Ray, the Vegas sports figure that can really have a second career. Let's just say they want to pull a Jim Brown. They want to be Carl Weathers. Who do you think?
Well, first of all, I love your answer. He was on my list because he is easy on the eyes.
Just handsome.
And he's got that nice accent,
Yeah,
too.
He's got the
and he's a great drunk, right?
Yes.
from the celebration.
That's important.
Yes,
That's important.
Yeah.
with or without alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm sure he
Handsome
could do
drunk.
that. Yes.
But you kind of had it when we promoted out of the last segment with Max Crosby, right?
That's the guy.
Well, I mean, he's just so like noticeable and long, and I think that he'd be. You could see him starring in NCIS or whatever, like as a great villain.
Or even just as a henchman. He
Yeah.
could be a henchman in a John Wick movie with the tats.
He might get the foot in the door quickest just because of that.
Right.
Someone might just throw him a quick role, you know, like,
Exactly.
hey, just play the bouncer at this night.
And we're forgetting his nickname has a movie. I mean, there's a Mad Max movie already.
Exactly.
You
He's
got
also
Ray
just very
kind of.
naturally well-spoken and
He's
has
got
that
something
charisma.
that draws. Yeah, he's got charisma, as the kids say. Magnum 702.
Yeah,
is.
I was gonna go with Max Crosby.
Is that who you were going to go with?
The whole time I'm driving in, I'm like, it's Max Crosby. The guy, first of all, he's got the look of, as you mentioned, a villain, a henchman, the tattoos, but he is very charismatic. You talk to him, he's just got something about him that draws you to him.
Right.
Like, I could totally see him in like the Schwarzenegger role too. Like whether it's Predator or Commando or True Lies or Total Recall. Like I could totally see Max Crosby being that Schwarzenegger character in movies.
And
He's
I
not afraid to
appreciate
rip his shirt off. He's not afraid.
Yeah.
No,
Rip
he
his
could
shirt
definitely
off.
do that. And Magnum 702, Chris, I just got to say, thank you so much for coming dressed up as Lex Luthor today for our summer
In
edition.
theme.
And,
Yes.
I mean, that was such a. I mean, with the Superman movie coming out, we really appreciate that.
Gene Hackman was the best Lex Luthor.
He was a, we'll see what the new kid does. But yes, of course, Christopher Reeve, all that stuff. Now, let's talk about this, because my person I was going to select, I thought somebody was going to take her. Asia Wilson. I mean, not only is this woman dominant on the floor, the best WNBA player in the league, gonna go down top 4 in history, but what about these commercials? The proof is already in the pudding. Yeah. She's doing these commercials. She's already got the shoe deal. She's got that. Look at that face.
She's got
right
an
there.
imposing force, strong leading lady. Like she's got all of the. I hate to say the it factor because that's so 1996 Hollywood. But there's an it factor with Asia. And I would imagine, I've not been in the same room as her, but I would imagine she's one of those people when she walks in the room, you know she's in the room. And that's an important part of being on set and being a star on a movie.
100%.
She's already been on the bag of Lay's.
She's
done
that.
She's
been on the cover of video games.
Yeah, she's got a dynamic personality too. Very funny. I've been fortunate enough to be around her a couple times, and she's very, very funny.
Yeah, I believe it.
And she embraces the role almost of being the face of the franchise, and I could definitely see her doing comedies.
Yeah. And I do think there is you can equate that kind of it factor, if we want to call it that, the same thing that it takes to put a movie on your back that we've seen Tom Cruise and less movie stars are able to do that. It's the same thing you need in sports. I think the way that she's putting the team on her back, it's the same thing you need to do when you put a movie on your back. So a lot of good answers there. But guys, the box office of course is a tricky thing. There's good and there's bad surprises. What will Vegas sports summer blockbusters be? We're going to talk about that. What are some of the storylines we could see? That's after the break. Ryan Coogler's Sinners has been the latest box office surprise and hit. It's the most profitable film of this decade that's based on original material. With a reported budget of $90 million so far, 8 weeks into its run, the film has grossed over $270 million domestically and over $350 globally. So what or who will be the Sinners type of surprise this summer in the Vegas sports world? Magnum 702. What comes to mind for you?
Well, I'll stick to something I know, and I know pretty well, and that's the fact that Jack Eichel goes into the final year of his contract on July the 1st. So that's going to be something that VGK fans are certainly going to be paying attention to, not only all summer, but until he inks that new deal, which I think will happen.
I mean, face of the franchise, critical player, a guy who could be that central player for this team and organization for years to come. In your mind, I mean, this would be a major surprise if he does not re-sign and stay here and that long-term deal is not figured out.
Right, and I'm always one of those people who, people may hate me for it, but I side with the player. Your career is short. You get as much money as you possibly can if you're Jack Eichel. And if it happens to be somewhere else, then it gives him food for thought and something to think about. But I think it gets done. I don't think there's any way Jack Eichel gets away. And I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be one of probably the 5 highest paid players in the NHL. Because he's probably one of the 5 best players in the NHL. So he would certainly have earned that big contract. And I always like to throw in no state tax here. So that money goes a lot further here than it does in a place like, say, Montreal or Toronto or any other state that has sales tax or state tax.
There you go. See, Eichel could have some Sinners type money in his future. Ray, what about you? What's the big box office surprise when it comes to Vegas sports?
So let's go Las Vegas Raiders, right? We saw during the OTAs that Geno Smith was hot and cold. When the media was there, he was very cold. Pete Carroll assured everybody that he had some hot days. But listen, I could see where if Geno was underperforming in summer camp, do the Raiders maybe look at AOC, the backup, who's got reps with them?
Ray, you are the president of the Geno Smith hate club. I mean, we bring this up every week, dude.
And you would think me as the Jet fan would be.
Last week I asked you, did the laminated card and pin come in yet? Because you haven't worn the pin. I mean, every week.
I'm just
How
saying,
is there's not a
You're asking for potential news stories. He goes with an easy one. What are they going to do with Jack Eichel? He's in the last year. He's one of the best players in the league. There's no state tax.
But you're
what? Who wants to watch that movie?
I would give him credit. It would be that would be a blockbuster hit if he was correct. That would be blockbuster.
But that's like saying, okay, there's this new indie film coming out that's all entirely in French with American subtitles, and it's about Nicolas Cage, thinking that he's a squirrel. and the whole movie is there's no dialogue, and that's going to be
Sounds
the big
amazing.
block.
I'm going to see that.
That's going to be the box office. There's no way Aiden O'Connell is going to beat out Geno Smith. There's just no way, right?
I don't know. I mean, Gino was awful at practice. Listen, I'm on record, as you may or may not know, saying Gino is a work in progress. Veteran guy, great voice in the room, knows Carroll's system, could hand the ball off, no questions asked. But the guy struggled in camp, and that's got to be an issue.
Okay.
Right?
Kip Kelly, I'm getting upset. I have to defend my guy Gino every week on this show with Ray Brewer.
Ray, listen, I'm gonna give Ray some moral support here because I feel like he's getting beat up a little bit. We asked for blockbusters. I appreciate it. Is that going to happen? Probably not. But it would be a blockbuster if it did happen. We would be talking about it.
Yes, that's true.
I changed my answer a little bit because I heard everyone talk, and I just want to be the dummy over here who doesn't know anything. So I'm going to go because we had already talked about her. We're in the summer. This is the WNBA season. We don't have anything else going on. I want to give them their flowers. The Aces are in the middle of the pack right now. I think they had a loss a couple nights ago. It's kind of tough. Asia Wilson can still go beast mode. She can still decide when they want to win. We still have her. I'm going to say that they're going to make a run to the finals. That's going to be my blockbuster for Las Vegas sports. They're going to be in the finals this year.
And that's a bigger take than usual because they're not that dominant team that we've been accustomed to these past years.
And the competition's much tougher, and they got a lot of things around them they got to overcome. But I'm gonna believe in Asia Wilson because I've seen her do it before.
I mean, listen, we've seen movie stars put movies on their back.
It's going to be a real dull summer because the Aces are supposed to go to the finals according to the sports book. Eichel ain't going nowhere, and the Raiders are going to start Gino.
And Geno Smith is going to win
So
the
I don't know
job.
if we got any blockbusters coming down. We're going to get it on TV.
Ray
on
might
DVD
be going into a deep depression. So you'll watch my Weekend at Bernie's. You know,
Together we'll watch
We'll watch it together. Okay, all right, guys. Coming up, we're talking sequels: the good, the bad, the ugly. It's all after the break. Welcome back to Sin City Beat. Mike Davis here along with my great panel. Now it's time to talk sequels. Sometimes you love them, other times not so much. Godfather 2, incredible. I mean, it won Best Picture at the Oscars. The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, that performance, gotta love it. Now my producer, he likes Meet the Fockers more than he even likes Meet the Parents. That's James Everett Bergman, the fourth for you, right? It's funny.
I like that.
I mean, Dustin Hoffman,
They're good.
you know, it's good stuff. So, Ray, what Vegas sports story will we see return? A repeat, a sequel happen in 2025, something we've already seen before.
So UNLV football is again going to have another winning season. They are going to be competitive. They're going to be in the mix for the Mount West Championship, and who knows, they might find their way competing for a playoff spot. However, there's no way you could match last year's great story, right? Ranked for the first time in program history. Quarterback leaves after a 16-play miracle drive to beat Kansas on the road. New quarterback comes in and rallies the team. Defensive player of the year, great wide receiver who gets drafted. Coach bolts for $39 million. You're not going to have all those great storylines, but I think the end result could be UNLV in another bowl game, UNLV fighting for Mountain West supremacy, UNLV crushing UNR.
All right, so Dan Mullen taken with Barry Odom, started taking it to the next level. We see a repeat of that. Chris Chapman, what's the sequel we're going to see this year from your perspective?
My whole thunder just went out the window.
You were going to say the same
I
thing?
was going to go UNLV football.
Yeah.
I think, listen, for all the reasons Ray said, but to add the intrigue, you bring in that new character. Barry Odom is out. You bring in Dan Mullen. I mean, I can't think of a movie off the top of my head where the lead actor was replaced for the sequel and the sequel was just as good as the original.
I got Iron Man. Terrence Howard started off in the first Iron Man, then it was Don Cheadle. So there you go.
Oh, what about like Incredible Hulk? Wasn't Eric Bana in that?
Yeah,
They
Eric
did a
Bana.
different version of it with Edward Norton too.
And
Yeah.
Edward Norton, Mark
But,
Ruffalo. So
yeah.
it's happened.
But-
All right, so that's a good.
Yeah,
I see where your
I
head's
think
at.
we're going to see a repeat, except I think this year it will end with UNLV winning the Mountain West Conference Championship.
Over Boise.
Yes, over Boise.
There you go. No
Did
more
we find
Ashton
the money to
Genty.
pay the coach for UNLV yet? Wasn't that a thing?
That's the Rays department.
No,
Is he getting
listen,
checks?
90% of the universities out there don't have the money to pay
All
the
right.
coach all of their money that they're like. Do
Okay.
you think Purdue's got a $39 million check for Barry Odom waiting around? No.
All right.
They
So Dan Mullen's
anticipate.
locked in. He's going to finish, right? He's getting his every other
I mean,
Friday.
he's locked in
He's-
until he's
okay.
getting paid on the 10th and 25th. when
Good.
UNLV
Okay,
gets paid.
good.
Well, go to
And
the Las
after 2
Vegas
years,
Sun
he-
for more
yeah.
on that,
I like
in-depth
Dan.
reporting.
I like
But-
Dan. I want him here.
All right, but Kip, what do you think? What's your sequel?
So I have been, unlike Ray, I've been truly inspired by this panel and talk of movies, and it's specifically his anti-Gino campaign, which may or may not, I think is I don't know, he's more informed than I am, but I'm going to go with, listen, Pete Carroll and Geno Smith have never had a losing season together, okay? So
He's already rolling his eyes.
I know he is. I know he is, and I love it. So I'm going to lean into that, and I'm going to say that we're going to have. I'm not going to say they're going to win the Super Bowl, okay? I'm going to say we're going to have a winning season. I think Gino and Pete and the Gum are going to come together,
Gum.
and they're going to win some games, and it'll be more than they lose, and that's what I think will have it's going to be a sequel to their previous tenure with the Seahawks, and it's going to roll right into this first season. I don't know what will happen after that, but I have some belief in Gino. And I'll have belief in AOC too, if for some reason he gets the call. But I think it's going to be Pete and Gino, and we're going to win some
I
games.
like that take. Listen, it's kind of a formula we see a lot, right? The Hangover, they redo it, but it's not in Seattle, it's not in Vegas. They bring it to Bangkok. You know,
Right.
they change it. So now it's
Right.
in Vegas.
Different
We're
set.
seeing Pete Carroll, we're seeing Gino, we're seeing them do their thing. But
Too
listen,
bad
guys,
they left the defense in Seattle.
okay. Listen, we're going to have more of this wonderful nature from everybody on this panel another time. Thanks so much for joining us here on Sin City Beat. For Kip Kelly, Ray Brewer, Magnum 702, I'm Mike Davis. We'll see you next time here on Sin City Beat. We hope you're enjoying the summer. Enjoy those summer blockbusters.